So, the internet's been buzzing lately about Meghan and Harry's relationship drama. Their fifth wedding anniversary rolled around recently, but instead of celebration, there's been nothing but speculation about trouble in paradise. The turning point, a video from Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter tour in LA that's got everyone talking. You know how social media works. One moment everything seems perfect, and the next you're trending for all the wrong reasons. That's exactly what happened after Meghan posted about their amazing date night at the concert. She shared these glowing pictures of them with big smiles, looking like they were having the time of their lives. The caption was all sweetness and light about last night. Thank you, Beyoncé and team, for an amazing concert and a very fun date night, all love. But then someone slowed down one of the videos, and suddenly people started seeing something completely different. In slow motion, viewers noticed what they interpreted as disgust on Meghan's face during a moment of PDA with Harry. The internet commentary was brutal, with people saying she looked utterly repulsed by her husband. The narrative quickly shifted from couple goals to keeping up appearances. Social media reactions were merciless. Comments poured in about Harry looking miserable throughout the night, just being beckoned over for photos. Others pointed out the irony of them attending such a massive public event despite previous claims about safety concerns. The criticism ranged from their dancing skills to accusations of copying William and Catherine, with some particularly harsh comments about their attire and demeanor. What made matters worse was that despite rumors of Meghan being close friends with Beyoncé, there were no backstage photos or special moments shared between them. This fueled speculation about just how tight that friendship really is. When you're a celebrity claiming friendship with another star, people expect receipts, and the absence of those receipts becomes its own kind of evidence in the court of public opinion. The concert wasn't her only social media misstep of 2025. Meghan rejoined Instagram after a 5-year absence, hoping for a fresh start and rebranding opportunity. Instead, her comeback was so poorly received that she had to disable comments and likes on all her posts. Not exactly the triumphant return she was hoping for. Then came the Mother's Day post that landed with a thud. Meghan shared a heartfelt caption about her children being the greatest privilege of my life. PR experts are calling Meghan's podcast launch a missed opportunity, particularly criticizing how the show opens with advertisements that come across as inauthentic. One expert described them as sounding like a Meghan Markle impersonator was delivering them. Definitely not what you want when authenticity is supposed to be your brand's cornerstone. There were reportedly high expectations for A-list guests like Beyoncé and Taylor Swift, but these star-studded interviews haven't materialized, leading to whispers of crisis talks behind the scenes. For someone with Meghan's platform and resources, industry insiders expected something distinctive and personal. Instead, listeners got what felt like a standard format podcast that lacked originality. When you've got the spotlight and opportunity that comes with being a duchess, the bar is naturally set higher, and so far, the consensus seems to be that she's falling short. But perhaps most concerning are the rumors about Harry's well-being and the state of their marriage. Sources close to Harry have expressed worry that he doesn't seem like himself anymore. The prince, once known for his spontaneity and fun-loving nature, has reportedly transformed into someone his old friends barely recognize. These insiders claim that since Meghan entered his life, Harry's personality has changed dramatically. The carefree royal who enjoyed having a pint with friends has been replaced by someone deeply involved in wellness retreats, therapy sessions, and global causes. While personal growth isn't a bad thing, his friends apparently question whether these changes represent genuine evolution or if they're signs that Harry is being controlled. The elephant in the room, according to these sources, is the perception that Meghan is calling all the shots in their relationship. Royal commentator Ingrid Seard has suggested that while Harry might eventually reconcile with his father, King Charles, the relationship with his brother, Prince William, appears to be beyond repair. CR didn't hold back, implying that Meghan's Hollywood influence runs deep in their relationship dynamic. All of this paints a picture of a couple that might be struggling behind the carefully crafted Instagram posts and public appearances. Are they genuinely happy, or is everything we see just part of an image management strategy? That's the question that keeps fueling the gossip mill. What's particularly interesting is how 2025 was supposed to be Meghan's comeback year. After stepping back from royal duties and weathering years of media scrutiny, this was meant to be the time when she reclaimed her narrative and showed the world who she really is. The Instagram return, the Netflix show, the new podcast, all were supposed to be building blocks of her rebranding strategy. Instead, each attempt has seemingly backfired, reinforcing existing criticisms rather than challenging them. When she tries to be relatable, critics call her out of touch. When she celebrates motherhood, they question why she doesn't mention her own mother. When she attends a high-profile concert, people analyze her body language for signs of discord in her marriage. It's the classic catch-22 of celebrity culture. Everything you do becomes evidence for whatever narrative the public has already decided on. For Meghan, who's been polarizing from the moment she entered royal life, breaking free from these perceptions seems increasingly difficult. The video from the Beyoncé concert seems to have crystallized all these tensions into one viral moment. Whether or not there was actual disgust on her face during that PDA moment almost doesn't matter anymore. The story has taken on a life of its own. That brief interaction has become symbolic of what many believe is happening behind closed doors. What makes this situation particularly complex is how it intersects with royal dynamics. Harry's estrangement from his family adds another layer to every analysis of their relationship. Critics wonder if Meghan has isolated Harry from his support system, while supporters argue that Harry made necessary choices to protect his wife and children from the same pressures that affected his mother, Princess Diana. The truth, as always, likely lies somewhere in the middle. Relationships are complicated enough without the weight of royal expectations and constant public scrutiny. Add in the cultural differences between Harry's British upbringing and Meghan's American background, plus the trauma of Harry's past, and you've got a relationship facing challenges that few can truly understand. What we're witnessing might simply be the growing pains of a couple trying to forge their own path while still carrying the baggage of royal history. Their attempts to create a new life in America, build their own brand, and control their own narrative were always going to face resistance, especially from traditional royal watchers who view their departure as a betrayal of duty and tradition. The question becomes, can they weather this storm? Historically, couples who face intense public scrutiny often struggle to maintain their bond under the pressure. The constant analysis of every facial expression, every word choice, every fashion decision, it all takes a toll. For Harry and Meghan, who've explicitly cited media pressure as a reason for stepping back from royal duties, finding themselves still under the microscope must be particularly frustrating. At the same time, they've actively courted attention through their Netflix documentaries, interviews, and now Meghan's return to social media. There's an inherent contradiction in seeking privacy while also maintaining a public platform that critics are quick to point out. Supporters would argue they're simply trying to tell their own story rather than having it told for them. But the line between controlling your narrative and feeding the publicity machine is razor thin. What's clear is that 2025 hasn't gone according to plan for the couple. Whether it's the reception to Meghan's new projects, the analysis of their public appearances, or the rumors about their marriage, the narrative seems to have slipped from their control. Every attempt to showcase happiness and unity becomes fodder for those looking to find cracks in the facade. The social media backlash to Meghan's Beyoncé concert post highlights how difficult it is to manage public perception in the digital age. What was intended as a simple share about enjoying a night out became evidence in the court of public opinion about the state of their marriage. The slow-motion analysis of Meghan's facial expressions shows just how intensely every moment of their public life is scrutinized. For Harry, this scrutiny comes with the added complexity of his royal heritage. Sources close to him suggest he's a changed man, no longer the fun-loving prince, but someone more serious, more controlled, perhaps even a bit lost. Whether that change represents growth or something more concerning depends entirely on your perspective. Those who've known him longest express worry, while supporters see a man who's finally breaking free from toxic patterns and finding his authentic self. The consistent thread through all these stories is the suggestion that Meghan is somehow the architect of these changes, for better or worse. This narrative isn't new. Powerful women throughout history have been accused of controlling or changing the men they marry. With Meghan, these accusations take on additional layers, given Harry's royal status and her American biracial background, factors that have made her an outsider from the beginning in certain circles. What's often lost in the gossip is the human element. These are real people navigating an extraordinary situation while raising two young children. The pressure would be enormous for any couple, let alone one with such a high profile and complicated backstory. When we analyze every facial expression for signs of discord, we sometimes forget the complex emotions that might actually be behind them. The expensive pajamas controversy is a perfect example of how even the most seemingly innocent posts can backfire. Was Meghan trying to show off wealth and status, or was she simply sharing a sweet Mother's Day moment without thinking about the price tag of her son's sleepwear? The interpretation says as much about the viewer as it does about Meghan herself. As we move further into 2025, it remains to be seen whether Harry and Meghan can turn the tide of public opinion. Their professional ventures need to find their footing, and they need to find a way to present a united front that feels authentic rather than staged. Most importantly, they need to decide whether engaging with public scrutiny is worth the toll it takes. The question isn't just whether they're happy together, it's whether they can find happiness while living partially in the public eye. Can they build the life they want while still carrying the weight of royal expectations and intense media scrutiny? Can they find a balance between privacy and platform that works for their family? Only time will tell. What's certain is that every move they make will continue to be analyzed, every facial expression scrutinized, every career decision